Hey guys, and welcome to Crazy Burger. So there's no doubt there's a lot of really good games now available on Evercade, and every single person will most likely have a very different top 10, top 5 favourite games on the Evercade system. But in this video, what I'm going to be doing is looking at Evercade Gems. This is part 1. This will be 10 games that I've thoroughly enjoyed and could not stop playing because they were that good or addictive, or they had some sort of qualities that I really enjoyed and just couldn't stop playing them. Without further ado guys, let's get started with the video. Okay, so let's start with Tanza. Now, this is often regarded as one of the best games on Evercade, and quite rightly so. It's an absolutely cracking game, a kind of a Strider style platform slash 'em up, so to speak. Great sound, great music, very addictive gameplay. Very tough to play, right enough, but if you persevere you will make some good progress. It has a lot of excellent bosses, tough as well, but yeah, great music as you can hear. Brilliant stuff. Is this still one of the best games on Evercade? I don't know. That's an argument for another day. There's so many games now that it's hard to say which game is the best on Evercade, and every single person will have a different opinion. But I think this is a top game. And the fact you can't really play this in many other systems, I'm not really sure. I've not seen it on any other modern platforms as such. And it's obviously a Mega Drive game. You would have to buy the physical version, which costs about 50 quid. The last time I looked, if you want to play it on the sort of original Mega Drive. But yeah, here you can play it. It was sort of sneaked onto the this collection, and you think, wow, it should have been like a cover star for this cart. But here you are, it's kind of sneaked on, and it's quite rightly regarded as one of the best games on Evercade. Very addictive stuff, and I would probably highly recommend not to play the game as I've done in this video. Take your time and probably use those save states quite often. So next on my list is Switchblade, and this was a game I absolutely loved. And it was on the Pico collection, which was a great collection. I think this is now one of the legacy carts. But even back in the day when it was released in 2020, this was a struggle to find and store. The stock certainly didn't last very long when it got released. I had to hunt high and low. I eventually got a copy from Argos of all places. And it was, wow, I'm so glad I hunted for it because it was fantastic cart all in. But this is the game that definitely I played the most by a long way. And you probably wonder why, because you look at it, the graphics are really not the greatest. The combat is just terrible. but there was something about this game that kept bringing me back. I think it was to do with the sort of exploration of the game and trying to find those sword pieces that are located throughout the entire map. And this game is something of an exclusive, well, not the game, the actual version of it. This is a Mega Drive version that wasn't actually released back in the day, and we have this on Evercade, so it kind of was something of an exclusive for us at that time. Absolutely fantastic, and it certainly is the best version of this game. I've seen a few of the different versions. I've also seen the C64 version, seen Amstrad version, the Amiga version, and this is definitely the best one. It's probably as close to the Amiga version perhaps, but anyway, this is definitely by far the best one. And yeah, I've absolutely loved it, and I know it's not one of those games that a lot of people will love, and I appreciate that, but I don't know, I found something really enjoyable about it. And yeah, I did brutalise the save states to actually make progress, and quite often I probably had to replay the game completely all over again, because if you get to the end without finding all those sword pieces, you will probably have to start all over again, because you can't defeat the final boss without those sword pieces. It's just impossible to do. So it's one of those games you'll probably have to keep replaying and replaying over and over again, but I absolutely loved it and I think it's fantastic. Okay, next up it's Tanglewood. Now I know a lot of people would probably choose Xenocrisis over this, which is fine, I totally get that, but for me it's always been Tanglewood. I absolutely loved playing this game. I found it really addictive, even sometimes quite relaxing and enjoyable to play, because it's got that kind of a calming, relaxing music going on and it feels really nice to play. However, there is a lot of things in this game that obviously is a lot quite tense, and it's not quite as relaxing, so to speak, but still I absolutely loved it. I love figuring out how to play it, I love the different aspects of it. It's a fairly lengthy game. It will certainly take you a few hours to actually complete and go through and understand it. It certainly gets quite tricky towards the end as you try to avoid the different monsters and things that happen in the game, but what a great title this is, and it's certainly up there as one of my most favourite Mega Drive games ever. And it's one of those games that's, I don't see it in very many other systems out there like Xbox and PlayStation. Not sure if there's versions on there, but if you want to buy this as a physical version, again it's 50 quid on Mega Drive, and we have it here on this sort of dual cart on Evercade, and it's certainly a bargain cart for me. I know it's only 2 games, but these games are absolutely brilliant, 2 of them. But yet Tanglewood's the one that always has stuck out for me. Thoroughly enjoyed playing it. I think it's an absolute classic, really is brilliant stuff. So next up is Alien Cat 2 from Indie Heroes Collection, which, oh, what a great collection this was, and this was one of my most favourite games from this collection. Thoroughly addictive stuff. Obviously it's a puzzle game. You crash land on a planet and you need to then find the ship parts to repair your spaceship and then escape the planet. So it's across a number of levels. I can't remember how many levels there was. It may be towards like 18, 19, 20, something like that. And they get more difficult as they go through. But wow, what a great game. Very, very addictive stuff. Starts off very, very simple. You pick up the gold pieces on each level and then get to the exit once it opens up. Once you've collected the last piece, the exit opens up and you escape. But as it goes on, you get more cats. Somehow other cats appear. I'm not really sure exactly why more cats appear, but they do, and it certainly makes things a lot tricky. Initially it starts off there's 2 cats will appear, then 3, and then eventually it will be 4, and you have to control them all at the same time whilst avoiding all the spikes and traps and bombs and all sorts of things. But what a great exercise for the brain. Really enjoyed it. Sometimes a little bit frustrating, but it was so addictive I could not put it down. I had to keep playing it, and this was a very popular game when it was released back in 2021. I think Indie Heroes was released, and this was quite popular. And it's obviously, once you complete it, it's not really one you probably go back to. However, I still loved it. Now, interestingly enough, there are a lot more Alien Cat games out there. If you look on Steam, there's Alien Cat 1 all the way up to 8 or 9 or something, and all the games are very, very different. I did purchase 1 or 2 of them, and they're all kind of a puzzle-related, platform-related kind of thing. It would be great to see more of them in Evercade, but I kind of suspect this was the best one that we got, and it's absolutely brilliant. Now, since we're on Indie Heroes, it would be almost criminal not to include this game. This is Flea, and what an amazing title this was. This was the cover star of Indie Heroes, and quite rightly so, probably the best game on the collection, and extremely addictive, very, very different style of game, whereas the Flea that you're controlling is always jumping. You don't need to press one of the jump buttons or one of the buttons on Evercade. You just have to control the Flea with the D-pad and try and manoeuvre yourself through the levels, collecting all the blood samples as you go. 99 levels of this, and it got more and more difficult. You got some power-ups as you go as well. Some bosses just chucked in there for the sake of it. Wow, what a great, very, very addictive game. Simple stuff, but it was ferociously addictive. Yeah, you can pick this game up in loads of different systems. You can even buy the original NES cartridge if you want as well. But brilliant stuff, great soundtrack as usual, and I don't think Low-Tech Games have done a bad game yet. Absolutely superb stuff, and I just thoroughly enjoyed playing this, and I just kept playing and playing. Yeah, collect those blood samples. You don't really have to, but if you collect them, you will then sort of trade them in for lives, and you will definitely need those lives as you go through the levels, because it gets very, very hard. You'll need lots. use those save states as well. But wow, what a great game. Is it Logitech's best game? That's certainly arguable. It could be. It's certainly one of my most favourite games on Evercade. So next up from Mega Cat Studios Collection 2, this is Romeo and Julie Cat. An absolutely fantastic, very relaxing puzzle style game, a bit like Tetris so to speak, although the idea of the game is a little bit different. You've got your grid here and you need to place the blocks onto the grid and create lines, and you start off, you've got 3 pieces to try and fit on, and then once you've done that you get another 3 pieces and then keep going. In this level you're trying to create, I think, 50 lines, and once you complete you move on to the next level, you get like 100 lines and so forth, all the way up to about 400. But it's probably a lot harder than it sounds, but I found it really addictive to play, very relaxing as well, and you can quite often get stuck. You do have some bombs, TNT, that you can clear the screen. I think something you get 1, 2, 3 per level, depending what stage you're actually playing on, but I thought this was so good, thoroughly addictive stuff, and it's certainly perfect for one of those games you can play on your handheld, on the bus or wherever you're going, or you're sitting waiting somewhere. It's certainly that perfect game for me, that kind of 5-minute quick burst of game time, just to pass some time and chill out. What a great title it is, and I'm not sure I've seen this game on any other platform out there, and it's something of, maybe it's exclusive, I could be completely wrong, but I've definitely not seen it anywhere else. And that's what Evercade should be about for me, is those games that you probably couldn't see anywhere else, you can't pick up anywhere else. Certainly one of those games that you probably would never play if it wasn't for Evercade, and that's really in general what this whole video is about, is games that you probably would never have played if it wasn't for Blazing Evercade getting them onto collections. And it's great discovering these gems, so to speak, that are just brilliant. You just can't put them down, you have to keep playing and playing. That's what it's all about for me. This is fantastic stuff. Okay, on to I Was Awakening. This was obviously on the dual cart with Cathedral as well, which I know a lot of people will probably prefer Cathedral. Personally, I prefer I Was Awakening. It was a lot more balanced for me. It wasn't as frustrating to play through, and I just enjoyed it far lot more than I did playing Cathedral. It just frustrated the heck out of me trying to play that game. But this one, really loved it. Really enjoyable stuff. A kind of a RPG platform style adventure game, where you've sort of been somehow took to this land. You wake up and you obviously have to defeat the bosses and free the land of its evilness, I guess, that kind of nonsense that's happening. But what a great game. Great story, great music, great setup, very well designed game, and amazingly this is an NES title, which is quite surprising because it's so well done. Not that I'm saying NES titles are bad, but I think there's so much going on here that you could probably almost mistake it for a Mega Drive game, I guess, or a SNES game. Excellent stuff, really enjoyed it, and it certainly takes a good maybe 6, 7, 8 hours to complete if you're doing it properly, and you'll probably get stuck a few times. There's certainly a few instances where I was wandering back and forth, didn't know where to go exactly, and there are guides out there if you want to have a look, but it's a fairly modern game again. I think it is on a few other systems, like the Switch I believe has a version of it, but this is the 8-bit version we have on Evercade, and it's fantastic. Certainly for me, possibly one of the best games on Evercade. Thoroughly addictive stuff, and it's an absolute gem. Okay, so sadly on Evercade we don't really have an awful lot of good driving games. However, we do have World Rally, which is fantastic, absolutely brilliant rally style game where you actually go through each stage and try and finish it within the 1 minute time limit. I found it thoroughly addictive, really enjoyable, very simple to pick up. You're really just holding down the acceleration button and choosing left and right and navigating your way through the different stages and the different terrain that's on offer. But whoa, absolutely superb. A great cart overall. The Galco arcade cart was brilliant, the first one, and the second one was pretty good as well, but I think this one, World Rally, absolutely brilliant. And yeah, we definitely need more racing games on Evercade, please.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
Okay, so my next game is Lee from the C64 Collection 1. This might be something of a surprise to be included in this video. However, I thought this game was fantastic. Really addictive stuff and really enjoyed it. One of the best aspects about playing this game on Evercade, you had access to those save states, which I think you really need to try and complete this. I think trying to finish this game back in the day without save states on your original C64 was almost nigh impossible. You could probably make some progress, but trying to complete it, it was really tough, because there's a lot of parts where you will die constantly and constantly you'll have to start all over again. And so those save states certainly make this game so much more enjoyable, and you can even complete it, which I did, and I thought it was brilliant. Probably doesn't take that long to actually complete, but there's got that kind of addictive gameplay that I really enjoyed. Collecting all those lanterns and making progress through the game. Fighting the bad guys or avoiding them, it's obviously your choice. But what a great little game. Graphics are terrible, but the gameplay was fantastic. And that's what it was all about back in the day on the C64. And maybe even a lot of the other 8-bit systems. All about the gameplay. Okay, on to the final game, or games I guess, for part 1. It is the Greno Zera Triology. Now I'm going to include this as kind of one game. It's as parts 2 and 3 which I've included in this sort of final part in the video. Great games. The first game wasn't really much, but the second part and third part are absolutely fantastic. Both very different kind of puzzle style platformy games, and I thoroughly enjoyed playing through both of them. And you can probably tell if you look at the hours count on the video here, I put a lot of time into these games and trying to figure out how to complete them. Now if you're the completionist, then you probably need to collect the carrots on each of the stages in Greno Zera 2. But there was a few stages I just could not figure out how to do it, and I just gave up, which is a bit disappointing I guess, but I got to the point where I just couldn't do it and I got a little bit frustrated and stopped. But what a fantastic, great little game. It is a little bit clunky. You're supposed to try and build the different platforms and make your way through each of the stages, try and collect the carrots and get to the exit kind of thing. A great little design, albeit it is a tad clunky to play through. You could quite often destroy your own character and sort of kill yourself when you place the blocks kind of thing. So I thought the controls could be tightened up a little bit. Not really Evercade's fault, it's just how the game was designed. But addictive qualities in this, fantastic. I've always loved a puzzle style game, and this was certainly one of my favourites that's been released on Evercade so far. Excellent game, certainly a gem for me, and it's not one of those games you'll see in many other platforms as well. It's another great little title that you can pick up on Evercade, and it's certainly a gem. The third part is really good as well, slightly different but excellent nonetheless. So we've reached the end of the video. That's the end of part 1. That's 10 games that I just could not put down, and I think they're absolutely brilliant, and I would definitely regard these as Evercade gems. Now stay tuned for part 2. It's going to be quite different. There's a lot of games on there that are pretty new as well, and I've obviously played them through the Game of the Month thing for Indie Heroes Collection 3. Sneak peek there, but stay tuned for part 2.